sorry, I am 5 minutes late. I was actually just having some, I guess it'd be tech issues here. So all sorted, all good. It's kind of funny because it's tech. Sometimes, it does what it does. It's like if you've ever tried your password like 8 times and then finally you go to reset it and you uh, reset it to one of the passwords you thought it was because you're like, oh, well, obviously I thought it was this. This will be a good password, right? And then it's like, your new password cannot be your previous password. Seriously? So it makes me laugh. All these tech issues, all these things, they just make me laugh because really, what else are you going to do? Get mad, waste your energy, and put a damper on your day for no reason that you can control or do anything about. So, yeah. All right. So today is, I'm going to say more like an eye opening discussion. I want to talk about priorities. This is a very, very big one. I have kind of talked about it before, but I just want to talk solely just on this because a lot of us, we think we have our priorities straight. We know what our priorities are, but our actions are actually saying that our priorities are something else completely. Our actions are not supporting what we say our priorities are, if that makes sense. So it's this, for example, if you're working, the hardworking parent works 10, 12 hours, just hustling, bringing in the money, and the priority is your family. You are doing this all for your family. But what the actions are suggesting is because you're working 10, 12 hours a day, you're never at any of the events, you're, canceling dinners, all of these different things. Your actions say that money and work are your priority and your family they're not. They're just not. They do not make the cut because you are constantly neglecting them, abandoning them, canceling on them, all of these things. And this is a big one because you see this, like, come on, guys. We've all watched Christmas movies, right? And this is a classic theme. But at the same time, none of us ever actually thinks about it and takes it in and realizes most of us do this same thing. Even, myself back in my overwhelmed days, I didn't prioritize friends and family, which, let's be real, like, money is great. Money does help make things easier for sure, but money does not buy happiness. It makes our lives easier and it makes it more comfortable for sure. But the people, they should always be our priority. The people are the things that make life worth living. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get super attached to my vehicles. Like, we literally brought our truck from Canada to Mexico because I am not leaving my baby behind. Get out of here. I get really attached to my vehicles. But at the same time, it's that, if I have to pick between having the vehicle or having wonderful friends to hang out with, right? Like, you're going to pick because this brings you way more joy, fulfillment, happiness. Like, it's always about the people. But in our pursuit of making our lives more comfortable, it's this, again, it's misguided. Oh, if I have the money, I can treat my family to this. I can bring nicer wine to dinner with friends. I can, all of these things, except you never have time for friends. They don't even invite you over anymore because you always cancel or say no. When's the last time you actually went on vacation? Maybe you send them on vacation, but do you actually go with them? When you go on vacation, do you bring your laptop and are you sitting there working the entire time anyway? Is your family so sick of you working all the time? They're almost, I mean, probably not really, but maybe even jokingly ready to get rid of you because they're so sick of you just never being there. And again, you think to yourself, but I'm doing this all for you guys. How do you think we afford this beautiful vacation? It's because I work so hard. But at the end of the day, they don't care. They're just there. If you guys have ever heard about the five love languages, and I always say, like, your tank, your, love tank, whatever you want to call it. I call like self-care tanks, your mental tank, emotional tank, physical tank. Like these are all tanks we have to fill in self-care. And your love language is how you feel loved from other people. Like myself, my love language is quality time. So, I mean, you can buy me all the gifts, that's nice. But at the end of the day, if I want something, I'm going to make the money and buy it myself. So I don't necessarily appreciate gifts like other people. If that's their love language, they'll appreciate the crappiest 50-cent gift ever if, it's they just love the gifts, right? That's not me. I need that quality time. So even though you think, again, I'm doing this for the family, if you're not filling anyone's tank, if you're not making anyone feel loved, your words are empty. Your actions are not supporting your words. Oh, you're my priority family. Meanwhile, I'm never here. Right? Then, priority means showing up for your loved ones, being there for them, right? And that's why I am like right now. So I'm a stress and anxiety coach. And right now I'm so passionate about finding work-life balance for everyone because yes, I understand that you do all this money, you do all this hustle, you do all this over the top business, like it is for your family. You're working so hard to gain that freedom, money freedom, time freedom. You have all these big plans of, in the future, I'm going to have all the time in the world to spend with my kids. Why don't you have that time now? And what makes you think you're going to have that time in the future if you don't have it now? It's the priorities and what we do to make those priorities happen, right? So it's like, I hope this is landing with you guys because it really is so important. I've seen this as a massage therapist, countless people getting divorced because, oh, I'm going to raise my kids first, I'll worry about my husband later. Well, by the time later comes, your husband's gone, he's checked out. You are now getting a divorced. You are now getting divorced because you can't just push people aside, not nurture them, not pay attention to them, and think they're just going to be there down the road years from now after all of your neglect, and you can just pick up the pieces and start over. I mean, some of us for our friendships and stuff, we can do that. That's kind of a personality trait for some people, but that's not the majority. And especially with your kids, if you miss years and years and years of their lives, you are absentee mom or dad. You're the absentee parent. And you're just going to get comments like, whatever, you're never here anyway, you don't care. Because that's what your actions are telling them. And it doesn't matter what your real, but I'm doing this for you. They don't see it. They don't get it. They're not going to get it because your words are empty because you're never there. This is why it's so important to recognize what is your priority. Let's say family. Is it going to be there when you decide to actually show up for that priority? Right? Or have you already alienated them? Are they already tired of your neglect? I know this is super harsh. I know it can be a really big pill to swallow, but it's similar like if you're an alcoholic, you have to, hit the rock bottom and realize I have a problem. Like the first step is admitting what you're doing wrong and that you need to change. And this is similar. Like I say these things as an eye-opening, as one of my coaches says, gentle punch in the stomach to gain your awareness of what you're doing. You can't fix a problem you're not aware is a problem. And this is why it's so important to understand if this is one of your problems, you need to work on it. And especially like I just had a coffee chat with a very wonderful lady. She's a business coach, Jess Cassidy. And we were talking about that. And she went through that. She completely burned out. Her business crashed because she was hustle, hustle, hustle. One day I'll get the time freedom, I'll do this. But she was going about it all wrong. And everything ended up crashing with her burnout because the priorities were mismatched, right? Like we think, oh, I have to work harder, I have to work more, I have to do all these things because of this. Well, if time freedom is the goal, then why is working 14 hours a day? Why do you think that's going to take you there in the end? You're setting yourself up, like, right? It's so mismatched. And I understand working a little bit extra and doing a little bit more in the beginning. I understand that. But, years later, if you're still 10, 12, 14 hours in, you've created a habit, you've created a pattern. You're not working towards that time freedom because nothing in your actions shows that you want to get there. Right? So like what is actually your priority? Where is your mindset going around? What do you have to change to start actually working towards this priority? Right? It's a whole big ball of wax, and definitely I will say it's very tough to go it alone. Anything in life, we get a new job, we get training. We need to drive a car, we get training. Like everything we do, even growing up as kids, we do chores as training to teach us how to do things. So I'm not suggesting necessarily, I mean, obviously I would love to work with people, I would love to help you out. That's literally my purpose in life. But it doesn't necessarily have to be me. I would say don't assume you have to go it alone. If you want to try it, if you want to like read the books, take the free master classes. I love taking free stuff. I don't know, maybe it's my generation. It's like it used to be that joke out of people born in the 80s, like you say free t-shirt, I am there. What is the free stuff? Go to Costco for lunch and eat all the free food. Like I think it's just a generation thing, but I love free stuff. So if you think you can be disciplined, take the free workshops and start really gaining that awareness and working towards your goals, your actual real priorities, your actual real goals, that is awesome. Otherwise, like I am building my network of like maybe I know someone who can help you if that person is not me. But yeah, don't think you have to go it alone. But definitely you have to become aware of the changes you need to make, right? And definitely this is a big one. I know I suck at communication. I still suck at it. It is going to be my lifelong endeavor to become a better communicator. I don't even pretend, but I have heard this for years and years and years, and it is very true. I have learned this. This is why I work on my communication skills, where it is so important just to communicate. So, so important. So, if you're that person, you're the absentee parent who says, I earn all this money for you guys, I do everything for you guys, but meanwhile, your family's falling apart, nobody respects you, you're not feeling any love from the family. It's really quite broken apart because you're never there. You need to sit down and have a conversation. And what maybe you've had this conversation before. Again, we've seen it 1,000 times in movies where, hey guys, I realize I'm working too much. I say I do this for you, but I want to be more present. I'm really going to try. I may fail a lot, but I really need you to know I'm aware of what I'm doing and I'm going to try my best to start fixing it. And even saying that, like that goes a long way with people. Even if they don't show it, even if you get the, yeah, whatever, we've heard it before, or something like that, it still plants the seeds. It still does go a long way. And I feel like there's just something about people knowing you're trying that makes all the difference, right? I really, really, I wholeheartedly believe that. If you just don't say anything and you try and make a few small changes, who knows how they'll take it? They might be wondering what you're doing, what kind of stunt you're pulling or something. Like people can react in really, really interesting ways, especially children. So, but yeah, this is just a big one, guys. That priority of, what are you actually doing all of this for? And are your actions reflecting that? Like if people see you, would they just be like, yep, they're working for time freedom. Yep, they're doing this to spend more time with the kids. Yep, this is all for their family. Or do they see you as just the ladder climbing workaholic who, prefers to be at the office than home? If people just look at your life, what would they say about you? Actions speak louder than words. And this is the really unfortunate part is even though, having those conversations with people does make a world of difference. This is why it's so important. Actions mean everything. You can say to someone, oh yeah, I'm going to try and be home at the office. I'm going to try and be home more often. I'm going to try to be home earlier, yada, yada. But then if you literally never come home earlier, you just have empty words. And you know, whatever you say just loses less and less value the more you don't back up your words, right? So this is why, again, you communicate. This is going to be very difficult for me. I'm going to try, like this week, I'm going to try and come home one day 2 hours earlier. I'm gonna do that. That's my goal this week, guys. Change everything overnight. I'm gonna be home for supper every night. I'm gonna no, it's too much change. You just promise one small thing and then make sure you deliver on that. And then you give yourself grace for the rest of the week, right? Like very small changes, but just to show your actions are supporting what you're saying. You guys are my priority. I'm gonna try really hard. I'm gonna start making some changes, but I need to go slowly because this has been a bad habit of me for years and years and years. So I can't change overnight. I need you to know I cannot do this overnight, but I'm gonna start doing slow baby steps. And when you make that first step, and then next week maybe you do the same, and then maybe after a couple of weeks you pick a second night and you're like, all right, this week I'm gonna come home twice early this week. And then like just baby steps. And the more you keep actually fulfilling your promise and your actions are supporting, I'm really, really trying and I'm doing this for you, people are really going to believe you. And this just gives you even more grace and more room for when, unfortunately, when you do screw up. Because let's face it, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all fall off the wagon. You obviously never, ever, ever, ever plan to, because not everyone does fall off the wagon. Some people make these changes and they stick it for life. They just like nail the landing and it's done. And that could be you for sure. But as long as you're trying your best and you're actually showing, and your actions, even if they're small, your actions are actually backing up what you're saying, that makes the biggest difference. Right? So I hope this has been an eye opener. I hope this is resonating. Again, becoming aware is your first biggest step. And I mean, for me, I would say if you're the person that's like, holy crap, I think this is me, just take a look at your schedule. Take a listen to what your family's telling you, what they've been telling you, and what they would love to see from you. And start working on that. Like I said, small baby steps. You can't change everything overnight. But how can you prove to them you're going to start trying more? Because again, you work and work and work and work towards this. Yes, this is my end goal. In 10 years from now, we're going to have all the time freedom, all the everything, and it's all for you guys. In 10 years from now, they're gone because they're tired of your BS. Right? Tough pill to swallow, but that literal scenario happens to way too many people. That is a fact. Most, I don't say most, a lot of the high powered people in the world, you tend to have crappy family lives because you're never there. Your family doesn't know you. You're not present for any of them, even though you do it for them. So, food for thought, guys. Give me some comments. Let me know what you think. If this, again, like everything in life, if this triggers you, it's because it resonates with you about something you're doing that you don't like within yourself. That's it. When we get offended, when we get triggered, it's because it's a reflection on us. It's because we don't like something in us that reminds us, oh, shoot, you do that. And then we get upset about it. So the triggering is actually you being upset at yourself more than anything. So that's just like, maybe get out the notepad and journal about it. Really sit and think, why does this upset you so much? What truth is there for you in these words that makes you upset? Right? Because if you're already doing it and life is great, then this is just a bunch of jabber for you, and you might nod your head and be like, yeah, no, I totally get that. Nope, got a great home life, everything's wonderful, and nothing bothers you, right? So yeah. All right, guys. I hope, yeah, I hope this opens up some eyes. It's that tough pill, as my one coach says, that polite punch in the stomach to make you realize, um, On a nice lighter note, though, today is literally Halloween, and I just found out that so Day of the Dead, which I'm sure is always November 1st, is November 2nd this year. So here in Mexico, kids apparently get to trick or treat for 2 nights. So they come tonight and tomorrow. So I'll be super intrigued about that, if that actually happens or if that's just an option, kind of what goes down for that. So yeah, I would say have a very wonderful Halloween. Be safe, and enjoy. Don't eat too much candy. And yeah, just have a great, great Halloween. And if for anyone going to parties this weekend, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And yeah, we will talk to you next week.